double down on our efforts to catch up with science and technology and innovation. Science and technology and innovation, these are indispensable in a modern economy, in a modern world.
The problem being that, while we have our PhDs here, there aren't enough of us. And everywhere else in the world, for research to be successful, you need a complete research group.
It's very important that the PAASE members and scientists based in the Philippines are continuously in contact, so we will know the needs of the Filipinos and opportunities that the Filipinos can have to do science with their PAASE counterparts.
I think that is one of the good programs that they keep on supporting some of the initiatives of our researchers and scientists here in the country.
The role of this cooperation among these government agencies really is to be able to attract science and technology, global-based companies to set up shop here. And that is really key in terms of developing the science and technology innovation ecosystem in the country.
We really need to ratchet up the appreciation, the recognition of the importance of science and technology and innovation.
And we are all trying to attain what we call the common good, the greater, higher, long-term good of the Filipino people.
So, good morning, everyone, to those who are based in the Philippines, and good evening to those who are based here in the United States. So today, we're going to have the induction of new members of the PAASE. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to call on Dr. Mariano Santo Domingo for the welcome remarks and for the introduction of our speaker. Okay, Mario?
Maraming salamat, Elmer. Good morning po sa ating lahat. Good evening from here in my car in Washington. It's actually my wife's birthday, but we're making do with whatever, wherever we are. Ano po. So again, good morning to everyone. I'm happy to see familiar names and faces, former colleagues from UP, friends from LaSalle, but I'm also happy that we have new members representing otherwise unrepresented agencies and institutions, like for example, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or the CIFDEC, in Iloilo, and the industry too. I also would like to recognize the presence of some of our former officers and board members of PAASE, like we have Al Serafica. Hi, Al. We also have our former, of course, BOD chair, Dr. Marge Pena. We have our current board chair, Dr. Felino Lansigan. Of course, we have our VP, Gladys Completo, and our inspirational speaker, whom I'll be introducing a bit later. Of course, Elmer Mojica. I may have missed someone because I don't see everyone on screen. But magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. For those who are here in the US, magandang gabi po. Our 42nd foundation anniversary is being celebrated this year. So I'm happy that probably for the first time after it hasn't been celebrated, we are celebrating the foundation of PAASE. It was in 1980 when probably 22 or 23 young men and one woman, founded PAASE. And that was still when Dr. Severino Ho was a professor at Indiana, Purdue, right, in Indiana. And so we are really fortunate to be standing on the shoulders of giants. One of the giants is here, our inspirational speaker. Um, Also, I would like to invite everyone to participate in our events this week. On Thursday, we have a webinar on rice research sponsored by our research expertise cluster number 4. And on Friday, we have a fireside chat on the presidential election to be led by Professor Aris Arugay from UP Diliman Department of Political Science. So yun po yung ating mga activities this week. And of course, please watch out for all the other activities, webinars, fireside chats that are in store for us. We also have already 2 webinars scheduled in May. We have speakers from the Food and Drugs Administration, and we'll be announcing that very soon. So, as I've said, we are fortunate that we have with us tonight one of the founders of the Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering, who's still a very active member, by the way. He has probably never missed an annual PAASE meeting and symposium, and he's also the 6th president of PAASE. He's still very active. In fact, he's still teaching a class, every week for, I believe, 3 hours every Friday. So imagine pro bono, Dr. Josefino Comiso, a research or a scientist emeritus from NASA, is still, doing active practice. He's a scientist from the Cryospheric Sciences Laboratory of the Goddard Space Flight Center for a long time. He received his Bachelor of Science degree in physics from UP Diliman, his master's degree in physics from Florida State University, and a PhD in physics from the University of California in Los Angeles. He held a postdoctoral position at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville and worked as a senior consultant for Computer Sciences Corporation before joining NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. Dr. Comiso was also the chief scientist in many NASA aircraft missions in the Arctic and Antarctic that included a flight over a nuclear submarine near the North Pole. So he's actually one of those who studied climate change. We are lucky to be meeting him. I'm very fortunate that I've had a chance to interview him. And you'll really never know the life of a scientist, unless you talk to him or her, because most of the time they talk about their science. But of course, Dr. Comiso has very many special experiences as a scientist. He is also the author or co-author of so many books. He's multi-awarded. In fact, very recently, he was an awardee of the 2021 Presidential Awards for Filipino Individuals and Organizations Overseas, or the PAFIO. Yeah, I'd like to read again this special quote from a website about Dr. Comiso led a NASA overflight as the PI, the principal investigator, or a nuclear submarine in the Arctic. Results from the experiment provided a basis for the ability to measure thickness of sea ice using a laser altimeter from space. So, ladies and gentlemen, scientists and mathematicians, please welcome our original climate scientist, founder of PAASE, and a former president, Dr. Joey Comiso. Joey.
Thank you, Mario, for that kind introduction. And greetings to all. Can you see me, or everything is okay with Zoom? First of all, I'd like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the new members of the Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering. I was initially hesitant to give this talk, thinking that there is no need to try to inspire selected members of the academic community who have already proven themselves to be high achievers in their own field of study. But Mario reminded me that I was one of the regional founders of PAASE, which means that with age and experience, I must have some wisdom to share that would benefit the group and especially the young members. Modesty aside, I will do it by talking about my career at NASA and how I took advantage of unique opportunities to be able to advance my professional status as a scientist. As many of you know, and as Mario indicated earlier, I work at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center as a senior research scientist for many years until I retired in 2017 and became an emeritus scientist after that. The center was named after Robert Goddard, who has been considered the father of modern rocketry, having pioneered the use of liquid fuel for rockets. In connection with this, I would like to share some of his inspiring words, and I quote, "The dreams of yesterday are the hopes of today and the reality of tomorrow." When asked about the secret of his success in developing the B-2 rockets during the Second World War, the German scientist von Braun said that he took advantage of the results of Goddard. It was also Goddard's word that inspired his team after moving to the US, consisting of scientists and engineers at NASA, Marshall Space Flight Center, to develop the Saturn V rocket that made it possible to fulfill the dream of taking human beings to the moon. NASA has been regarded as among the top technology institutes in the world, and the Goddard Center is considered the foremost science center among the 9 centers. The center has 2 science divisions, namely the Space Science Division, where scientists have their eyes directed away from the Earth to study the mysteries of the universe, and the Earth Science Division, where scientists look down from space to study the Earth's climate and environmental system. The space scientists have provided us with many astounding images of the planets and the cosmos, especially through the use of the Hubble telescope. Also with COVID, they were able to prove the occurrence of a phenomenon called the Big Bang that happened about 14 billion years ago. The 2006 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to John Matter, a NASA project scientist of the program, and George Smoot from UC Berkeley, the principal investigator of one of the key sensors in the discovery. John was also gracious enough to accept the invitation to be the keynote speaker at the PAASE annual meeting at Georgetown University in 2007, or shortly after he received the award. While space scientists are providing new breakthroughs and mind-blowing images of the cosmos, the Earth scientists have been tasked with many challenging issues. After the first results of the measurement of atmospheric CO2 by Charles Keeling at Mauna Loa, Hawaii came out, it became apparent that atmospheric CO2 and other greenhouse gases had been increasing much more rapidly than initially thought. The warming effect of greenhouse gases is well known, but the rising temperature is a big concern since there are so many unknowns. For example, we didn't know the rate of increase in warming in different parts of the globe. We also didn't know which geophysical parameters are most affected and to what extent these parameters would affect society. We also did not know the key sources of these gases and what can be done to mitigate the problem. To find answers to these questions, NASA decided to launch a project called Mission to Planet Earth and made the argument that having had missions to other planets like Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, we should have a mission that studies the planet Earth, which is likely the only entity in the universe with intelligent life. It was inspiring that the US Congress agreed with the goals of this mission and decided to fund the costly proposal despite worries about deficit spending during that time. I was also lucky that my proposal associated with the project was funded, and I was able to do research on the subject for many years. The first satellite sensors to monitor the Earth were developed by engineers who did not have a good idea what the applications were for. The initial visible sensors were adapted from TV cameras and used in the studies of weather, but it was not clear what the sensors in the infrared or microwave frequencies would be good for. This was especially the case for passive microwave imaging sensors, the first of which was the one-channel sensor called ESMER on board Nimbus 5 satellite, launched in December 1972, and provided continuous good data from 1973 through 1976. Scientists thought that it might be useful for precipitation studies because of penetrating capabilities, but it turned out that the best application was in the study of the sea ice cover, mainly because of the large contrast in the emissivity of sea ice compared to that of liquid or open water. By the time I joined Goddard in 1977, first as a contractor with CSC, and then I joined NASA shortly after as a scientist. The polar regions are already subject of serious interest because they're expected to provide early signals of a climate change on account of ice albedo feedback. Talking about serendipity, I was in charge with the analysis of the data, and I was among the first to have the opportunity to develop and validate algorithms for sea ice. Ability to interpret and digest the data enabled our group to put together atlases on the sea ice cover for both southern and northern hemispheres that demonstrated for the first time the large extent and seasonality of the global sea ice cover. The study of the satellite data also led to the discovery of many polar processes, including that of a very large polynya, a body of ice-free water within the ice pack that remained ice-free even in midwinter when the surface air temperature in the region was about minus 30 degrees centigrade. Efforts to explain this strange phenomenon led to the first cruise through the Antarctic sea ice cover in winter, in which I participated as a NASA principal investigator. The serious impact of the polynya and the physical characteristics of the ocean was reported in a Scientific American article, which I co-authored with Arnold Gordon, an oceanography professor from Columbia University. We also discovered that polynyas along the coastal regions of Antarctica were more frequent than expected, leading to almost continuous formation of sea ice in the region and the production of huge amount of bottom water that becomes part of the global thermohaline circulation. I also participated in other Antarctic cruises and helped validate the role of sea ice and observed high primary productivity of the polar oceans. In addition, I was the chief scientist, as Mario indicated earlier, of a NASA aircraft flight over a nuclear submarine in the Arctic that established that the thickness of sea ice can be measured from space. The result became one of the bases for justifying new satellite altimetry system like ISAT-2 and Cryosat-2. With NASA funding, I was able to put together satellite datasets and sea ice cover, which I use to document and report that the perennial sea ice in the Arctic has been declining very rapidly. These results suggested that the perennial ice, or ice that survived the melt season in the summer, has been observed in at least the last 1,500 years, could be gone within a century. Because of the expected profound impact of having a blue Arctic Ocean in the summer and the environmental and ecological system, this became a big story to the scientific community and the public. After a NASA press release was on the article, the results were covered by newspapers and television broadcasts around the world. It was also reported in the Philippines, although I was a bit disappointed that my Filipino background was not even mentioned. The following year, I also reported that warming in the Arctic has been unusual and about 3 times faster than that of global temperatures. This became an even bigger story because it indicated a definitive sign that the cryosphere in the region was becoming vulnerable and could experience extreme changes in the near future. The Arctic is the site of permafrost, snow cover, hundreds of glaciers, and most of all, the Greenland ice sheet, which has a sea level equivalence of more than 7 meters. NASA decided to invite experts in the polar regions and form a panel to discuss with me the seriousness of the phenomenon in front of international press. This again provided a lot of international visibility of my work, and the articles were cited as editor's choice in Science magazine, which has hundreds of thousands of readership. The results were also summarized in an article I published with a colleague at the NASA in Physics Today, which also has tens of thousands of readership. The importance of the findings was manifested by invitations to give talks in many research institutions, including Princeton University, to help them justify their efforts to promote nuclear fusion as a source of clean energy, by the Japanese to help them plan for expected opening of the northwest and northeast passages in the Arctic, and the Russian Academy to help them assess the potential of oil exploration in the Arctic. I was also asked by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is usually referred to as IPCC, to be one of the authors of the IPCC 2007 report that won half of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007, the other half given to former Vice President Al Gore. Subsequently, I was asked to be one of the coordinating lead authors of the IPCC 2014 report that provided new insights into the state of our changing climate. While the research funding that NASA has been providing over the years has been good, that enabled me to be involved in many research activities. And I managed to be the author and co-author of 7 scholarly books, 22 book chapters, and more than 140 refereed journal articles, which have been cited by about 30,000 times in academic journals. It became apparent that my contribution to science was being recognized by the community, since I've been given several awards, including the NASA Exceptional Scientific Achievement Medal, which is one of the most prestigious awards given to a NASA scientist. It also appeared that my NASA career was commendable, since I was also awarded the NASA Career Achievement Award. But being a member of PAASE, I felt I was not doing enough. I started visiting the Philippines almost every year since 2008 as a visiting scientist or as a participant of the Balik Scientist Program. I have not accomplished as much as I could or I wanted, but I managed to put together with local scientists a book on changing Philippine climate impacts on agriculture and natural resources that won the Outstanding Book in Science Award in 2015. We also have an upcoming book on rediscovering Laguna de Bay, a vital natural resource in crisis that discusses the pathways towards the restoration of the polluted lake. I was beginning to be productive and started publishing articles jointly with local scientists in international journals. But this was interrupted in 2020 by COVID-19. Over the years, I've been impressed by the talent and resourcefulness of Filipino professionals and students. I have asked myself, why is it that our research institutions and universities are ranked so low globally and even among Southeast Asian countries? One of the key elements in the determination of ranking has been productivity, that usually means number of highly cited publications and patents. I have noticed that many of our scholars are just content in giving a presentation in meetings and the results of the research and move on to do other things after that. Needless to say, this is one of the root causes of the problem. Researchers should document and publish their work so they can be recognized for their efforts, and that current and future generations can take advantage of their results. In this regard, PAASE members can help young researchers publish high-quality papers. You might ask, considering the thousands of scientific articles that are being published by experts every year, what is left for us to do? Note that Isaac Newton once said, "What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean." Scientific knowledge has exploded and became a lot more extensive in recent years. But I'm sure you agree that Newton's words are still true. I encourage our new members to continue doing research and find answers to the many things that we still don't know. The potential for becoming more creative and productive is now even higher because we have more powerful tools, including the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning, to help us think through problems that we would not be able to handle effectively otherwise. To conclude, I would like to thank the new PAASE members again for their valuable contributions to the academic community, and I hope we can all work together to enhance the global visibility of our motherland in innovation and productivity. Congratulations again, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for that inspiring talk, Dr. Joey Comiso. So I would say, I think the one that marked on my mind is the saying by Newton that what we know is a drop and what we don't know is an ocean. I think if we pull together some members, okay, we can be oceans of members of different expertise. Okay, so again, I'd like to thank Dr. Joey Comiso for an inspirational talk. He will lead us later on in our oath taking. So the next part of our session is the introduction of the new members for 2021. Okay, I remember, I think maybe way back 2012 or 2013, when I was inducted as a new member, there were only at least less than 10 of us. And I would say, I would like to thank the late Baltasar Aguda for sponsoring me or for nominating me to become a member. So for this year, there are 25 associate and 41 full members elected in for this year. Okay, and most of them are in the Philippines. Okay, some here in the US, Asia, and the European area. Okay, so I'm going to call your name one by one, and if you are here, please acknowledge yourself by turning your camera on and say hi, hello, or magandang umaga, just to see that to let us know that you're present. Okay, so for associate members, new associate members, I would like to call on Karen Connie Abalos Orendain from University of the Philippines, Diliman. Are you here, Karen? Okay. Next one would be Michael Lonchibar Abundo from Nanyang Technological University. Okay. Wala. And then I would like to call on my colleague in ICUPLB, Cheryl Ariola from UP Los Baños. She, I know you're here.
Yes, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. So welcome to PAASE. Okay. And I would like to call on Miguel Enrique Ascuna from Batangas State University. Okay. And the next one, Jenny Oriel Babon from Harvard University. And I would like to call on Angel Bautista D7 from the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute. I know Angel is here. I think I saw her name.
Hello, good morning and good evening to everyone.
Okay. So welcome. I would like to call on Romel Briones from Batangas State University.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, so Romel is here. Okay, so welcome. And then Rosenda Amparo Bronce from Batangas State University. Ang dami ng taga Batangas. Is she here? Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, good. Okay. Welcome. And then I'd like to call on Faith Christian Cockneo from Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Okay. Nandito si Ma'am Faith. And I'd like to call on Jonelle Corral from Batangas State University. Okay. And I would like to call on Maria Luisa De Leon Bolinao from UP Diliman. Is Ma'am Bolinao here? Okay. And then I would like to call on Emmanuel Lorenzo de los Santos from Union Quebec Belge from UK. Justin Ferry Domingo from University of Edinburgh. Iba at time zone doon ngayon. And I would like to call on Darlene Gutierrez from University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hello po. And Christina Laura Layson from the USDA. And then I would like to call on Ruth Lusterio Rico from University of the Philippines, Diliman. Amy Martinez from UP Diliman. I think she's also in chemistry like me. Okay. Andres Philip Mayol from De La Salle University. Ruel Nacario from University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Dito ba siya, Ma'am Gladys? Wala.
Attending tonight.
Tonight, okay. Michelle Ong from University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Magandang araw po.
Hello. Okay. Senate Gay Orozco Bautista from University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Hello po, good morning.
Hello. Okay. Jane Lois San Juan from De La Salle University. Charlotte Justin Jokno Sikat from the Philippine Institute of Development Studies.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you.
Hello. Nikli Tira from University of Rizal System. Philip Arnold Tuaño from Ateneo de Manila University. Okay, so those are the new associate members. Now for the new full members, I'm going to do the same. As usual, please turn on your camera and acknowledge your presence. Okay, Aris Arugay from University of the Philippines, Diliman. Nicanor Austriaco Jr. from University of Santo Tomas and Providence College. Arsenio Molina Balisacan from the Philippine Competition Commission.
Good morning, good evening, everyone.
Hello, sir. Marilen Balolong from University of the Philippines, Manila. I think dito ka rin.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Hi.
Argel Alejandro Bandala from De La Salle University. Alan Bernardo from De La Salle University. Dante Bondoc Canlas from University of the Philippines, Diliman. Danilo Casimiro from Sanofi Pasteur. Relicardo Coloso from University of San Agustin. Fulgent Coritico from Central Mindanao University. Grace Cruz from University of the Philippines, Diliman. Soledad Natalia Dalisay from University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Gandang umaga po. Good morning.
Morning. Romel Dator from 3M. Maria Helen Dayo, independent technical consultant, I think from University of the Philippines, Diliman din to. Okay. Andito si Ma'am Helen. John Ryan Dison, Bataan Peninsula State University. Andito siya kanina eh.
Hello, good morning po.
Ayun.
Good evening,
Morning.
everyone.
Yolanda Garcia from University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Ramon Lorenzo Ginto from St. Luke's College of Medicine. Teodoro Javier Herbosa from University of the Philippines, Manila. Anisha Hurtado from Integrated Services for the Development of Aquaculture and Fisheries Incorporation.
Hello, good morning to all.
Hello po, ma'am. Catherine Ann Israel from University of the Philippines, Los Baños.
Good morning, PAASE.
Morning, Katsi.
Morning po.
Rabindra Chandra Joshi, Philippine Rice Research Institute and Central Bicol State University of Agriculture. I think andito si Sir. Sir? Sir Joshi?
Good evening and good morning, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. And Maria Junmi Hazel Lebata Ramos, SIPDEC.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning po. Arturo Luisma, University of the Philippines, Diliman. Neil Stephen Lopez, De La Salle University.
Morning.
Morning po. Sherilyn Monterola, UP National Institute for Science and Mathematics Education Development. Enrique Austria Jr., Wayne State University. Rolando Paquinquing Jr., SIPDEC. Joseph Palis, University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Morning. Good evening, everyone.
Hello. Victor Joaquin Paz, University of the Philippines, Diliman. Gay Jane Perez, University of the Philippines, Diliman, and Philippine Space Agency. Joseph Puyat, University of British Columbia. Emilia Quinitio from Integrated Services for the Development of Aquaculture and Fisheries Incorporation. Maria Mercedes Rodrigo, Ateneo de Manila University.
Hello, good day, everyone.
Christian Carlos Sagin, University of the Philippines. Leocadio Sebastian. Okay, nandito po si...
Good morning.
Christian
Good morning,
Sagin.
colleagues in the Philippines.
Okay.
And good morning to colleagues in the US.
Okay.
Good evening to colleagues in the US.
Opo, si Sir Leocadio Sebastian from the Department of Agriculture. Morwena Jane Solibio, West Visayas State University. Pompe Santa Cruz, University of the Philippines, Los Baños.
Good morning and good evening, everyone.
Ano po? Okay. Guillermo Tabios III, University of the Philippines, Diliman. Carlos Tatel Jr., University of the Philippines, Diliman. Michael T., University of the Philippines, Manila. And last but not the least, Pierangeli Vital, University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Morning po.
So that folks are the new associate member and full members of PAASE for the year 2021. So let's give them a round of applause before we do our oath taking to them. So congratulations for being accepted as a member. Now to formalize your membership, we would like to call on Dr. Joey Comiso for the oath taking. Okay. So I think, I hope you can see the document that I'm sharing on what you're going to say. So Sir Joey, kita niyo po?
Yeah. Should we start?
Yep. So take it, Sir Joey.
Okay. I,
Anicia P. Hurtado,
do solemnly pledge to uphold the goals
do solemnly pledge to uphold the goals
and
objectives of Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering
Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering.
as
as
a
a
full member,
As associate member,
I pledge to work
I pledge to work
my
with
best of my abilities.
and in a collaborative effort with the PAASE
board
and members in the Philippines and around the world. To promote the
advancement of science, engineering, and technology among
scientists and engineers
engineers of the Philippines
to support the advancement of research and development,
research and development,
scholarly and
scholarly and scientific
Scientific
endeavors,
endeavors,
to recognize and honor the
honor the
achievements of
achievements of
scientists,
scientists and engineers of Philippine descent.
and most
Most
importantly,
importantly,
work to increase the development of
increase the development of
science
science
in the
and technology
Philippines,
in the
the
Philippines,
training of scientists who
and the
will shape
training
the
of
future
scientists
of
to
technology
shape
in the
the future of
Philippines.
science and technology in the Philippines.
So help
So
me God.
help me God.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone and welcome to the PAASE. And I would like to acknowledge the presence of our immediate past president, Ma'am Gisela Concepcion, and also Ma'am PAASE member, Ma'am Asuncion Raimundo, for being here in our event. Now that you're a member, I would like to turn the floor to Marge Peña to give you this PAASE 101 presentation.
Okay, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sige po.
Oops. Hang on. Okay, let's do this one more time. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Naku, hindi lumalabas yung ano ko. Sorry. Okay, technical difficulty. What you call this?
Can you
Gladys, can you open it and share it for me?
I cannot. I'm sorry about that. Can you send it to Elmer, please?
Okay, Elmer, I'll send it to you.
Opo. Sorry for this glitch. To tell you frankly, we met this morning to practice this, but still.
yeah, it's
we have this last minute glitch.
It's all set, but now it's not coming along. Touch file.
Paki-share ko ng Google Drive na link and I can work from there.
Yeah, it's nakuha mo ba yung Google Drive? Gladys?
No, I wasn't able to get it. Sorry. That's why I couldn't share.
Okay, let's see if I can. Sorry for this last minute glitch. It's already set on my screen.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is while Ma'am March is fixing the thing, I'm going to show you the Science and Engineering Journal.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so so you can do something while we're fixing this glitch that we have.
Okay, yeah. So I think the next part for this is a Sci-Eng, so you can do the Sci-Eng.
Yeah. Just trying to optimize.
So March, I found the slides. I can share.
Okay, okay, so let's put it on.
Okay, hold on.
Let's go from there.
Wait. Can you see it?
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So these slides are really to welcome you and tell you all about PAASE. And first of all, congratulations to everybody for becoming new members. You're in for a great ride with this wonderful organization. What I can say is that ever since I've been a member of this organization, I have come to know and been inspired by so many of our talented Filipinos all over the world. And so I hope you will find that same feeling and be inspired to share your science. So this is a short slide that I have is just to tell you a little bit about PAASE. Can I move this forward or do you want to move it forward, Gladys?
I already move it forward. Right now.
Okay, so next slide, please.
What is PAASE? It's there.
Yeah, okay, so what is PAASE? Basically, okay, so it's not moving forward on my screen.
How about you, Elmer? Is it not? Is it?
It's
moving
not
forward?
moving.
Okay.
There. That's one.
Oh, there you go.
Is it now?
No, I mean you unshared it. It's not shared.
Okay, wait, hold on. Now I'm confused. Okay. So I have to share.
Yeah, you share and move it forward.
Can you see
it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good.
So what is?
Is it moving now?
Yep.
It's moving.
It's on the first slide. Yes. So what is PAASE? It's basically Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering. We are a nonprofit organization and the members are scientists and engineers of Philippine descent who have distinguished themselves in scholarly and research related activities. So being a member, you are now part of this elite group of scientists and engineers and social scientists from the Philippines. PAASE was founded in the United States in Indiana in April 23, 1980, and in 2021, it was reincorporated in the state of Maryland. So the goals of PAASE is to promote advancement of science, engineering, and technology, and most importantly, to encourage collaborative work among scientists and engineers of Philippine descent in research and development through scholarly and scientific endeavors. Our goal is also to support efforts at advanced science and technology, not just in the Philippines, but around the world, and to recognize and honor the achievements of scientists and engineers of Philippine descent. Next slide, please. So a brief history, this is our founder, Dr. Severino Ko. He founded this at the university, at Purdue University, together with 20 other founding members, one of whom we have with us today, who gave us our inspirational talk. Our first conference was held in Silahis Hotel in Manila in January 6 to 8, 1981. Next slide. Just some trivia, and Mario, our president, really has a lot of this. One of our founding members, Dr. Leon Chua, received one of the top prizes for applied physics. He also happens to be the father of Amy Chua, who is an author of one of these popular books called The Battle Hymn of the Tiger Moms. If you've read that, these two prominent individuals are actually related to each other. If you look at the first newsletter of PAASE, there are more trivia from Mario about PAASE. Next slide, please. So what does PAASE have to offer? In the next few slides, we'll talk about this. There are knowledge and skill developments. And many of you, I think, have already attended or presented webinars and fireside chats and conferences. In fact, we have our APAMS meeting coming up soon in October. We provide networks and relationships. In a little bit, I'll talk about the research expertise clusters, interdisciplinary research projects, policy advocates, as well as mentoring. Next slide. Training, publication, and material resources. You have seen the slide about SciEng-J. In 2021, we adopted this as the official journal of PAASE. We have workshops and write shops as well as postdoctoral opportunities. As you know, many of our members are distinguished scientists, and so they can also help in the training, and many have trained many scientists of Philippine descent in their laboratories. PAASE also provides some small funding opportunities, which involves development of curricular material, development of papers, conference sponsorship, and participation in conferences. Next slide. We have human capital. A lot of our members are experts in their fields. They have experiences and skills that they can share with new and current members. Social capital, it's also there because we are able to develop members' networks and relationships. And material capital, wherein many of our members have established laboratories, work in preeminent labs, and so they can provide assistance to develop collaborations as well as training in their laboratory space in the use of specialized equipment. Next slide, please. Current officers are, as you have met, Mariano Santo Domingo, and Gladys Completo is our vice president. Both of these offices hold a term of 2 years each. Mario is starting his the first of his 2-year term, and Gladys was just elected as our vice president, but also Gladys is also our president-elect. So after her term as the 2-year term as vice president, she will become our president of PAASE. So for those of you who aim to serve in the as officers in PAASE, particularly as president or vice president, note that this was amended recently by the board of directors in order to provide continuity in the projects that PAASE has. So also note that if you want to run for office, you literally have to have a 4-year commitment, 2 years first as the president, as the vice president or president-elect, and then another 2 years where you actually begin to take office as the president. Our treasurer, our secretary is Lulu Harold. She has been our secretary since 2012, I believe. A very outstanding secretary who provides us with very detailed minutes of all the BOD meetings. And Lisa Virata just took over as our treasurer in the last 2 years. Also an outstanding individual who takes care of all of our finances. In the next slide, we have the board of directors. A board of directors currently has 9 members. It always has 9 members. The term for each BOD member, if you wish to join the board, is a 3-year term. So every year we elect 3 new members because every year 3 members rotate off and then 3 members come in. So if you want to be a board of director, you can run for that office. Be prepared to have a 3-year term. Also, it's a very good way to learn about the activities of PAASE. The board decides on a lot of the activities that PAASE has and our directions for the organization. So it's a very good way to get involved. As Mario had mentioned, I just rotated off as a BOD member. I was on the BOD for 6 years, and I was a BOD chair last year. And it's really a very eye-opening experience, and you really know the directions that PAASE is taking, and you can be involved firsthand as the events are decided and they are happening. Next slide, please. Okay, so we just welcomed you as members. We are now, with your entry into PAASE, we are now 557 strong. We have a total of 439 full members, 114 associate members. We really need to promote many of these associate members into full members pretty soon. And we have 4 honorary members. Now, being a big organization, the picture that I have below shows you, how difficult it is to run a big organization with all 500 members. You can see everybody just trying to find a way to connect with each other. So around 2 years ago, just before the start of the pandemic, we decided to form what we called as research expertise clusters. Next slide, please. So rather than have an organization that is loosely organized with no clusters together, what we decided was to develop smaller clusters of research of individuals that have similar research expertise. So this is the result of a survey that was carried out 2 years ago. We made a survey, sent out a survey to determine what kind of research interests the members of PAASE had. And once we found the different research interests, we grouped them into similar categories so that it will be easy for the members to find individuals who have similar interests in research as themselves. And so having smaller groups allowed us to be able to be more mobile in developing projects and being able to connect with individuals that we can share interests with, as well as present our projects to research institutions, as well as other government agencies that can help to fund the research. Now, one of the concerns that we had when we first started developing the RECs was that we might end up being, smaller groups that don't talk to each other and be fragmented. But really, what happened is that in this area of collaborative research, it allowed having the smaller groups allowed each of the RECs to interact more efficiently with each other. So basically, you can find that there are individuals who are not just members of one REC, but they're members of 1, 2, 3, some of them even 5 or 6 RECs, because their research interest actually intersects with other individuals. And so when you first applied for, when you were first nominated, we asked you to choose which REC you want to join in. Really, the only limit that we had was the space in the application for 3, but you can join as many RECs as you want. Even if you just want to learn something about a REC that you know nothing about, you can join that REC and be part of the development of that REC. Okay, next slide, please. PAASE also has a lot of projects, and these are the 6 categories that we have. You'll find a lot of information of this in our website. We have projects in graduate education assistance, like helping students to take the GRE exam and helping them with graduate application, development of educational materials, paper presentations, as well as publication, collaborative projects, technology transfer, and research training. So PAASE provides funding for all of this. And also, you can find the details for each of this. We also have calls for applications for many of these projects. The important thing to note is that on the website, I will tell you the caps or the amount of funding at which we cap many of these projects in order that to allow a lot more projects to be funded. So if you're interested in any of these projects, you can go check our website. This is our newly developed website, thanks to Giselle and Raymond. They were the ones who put this together, and it's easy to find each of this. And so if you're interested, please look at this, and we'll have calls for the funding for this from time to time. Next slide, please. Okay, in addition to the projects, PAASE has a lot of partnerships and collaborations. Thanks to Giselle, actually, a lot of this happened during her term. We have collaborations with the Technical Institute of the Philippines, the Department of Science and Technology, USAID, and all of these entities that are listed in here. Last year, we signed a lot of memorandum of agreements with a lot of Southeast Asian universities. And the agreement is to have training, exchange training back and forth between our institutions and their institutions. And so I have on the right side here listed a lot of the institutions in Taiwan and in Southeast Asia that have developed a memorandum of agreement between PAASE and their institutions. So this is one of the big developments that happened last year while Giselle was president, and we continue to encourage partnerships with institutions as well as government agencies. We have partnerships going on with the Central Mindanao University, DOST, and San Fernando in Bukidnon. Also, a very active partnership between PAASE and the Eastern Visayas State University, spearheaded by Alvin Clava. And we have a partnership that we established with the Philippine Science High School Foundation. And so a lot of these are active collaborations that are going on, and we continue to establish more partnerships and collaborations as we move forward. Next slide. Finally, this was supposed to be the introduction to that PAASE, to that SciEng video. But in 2021, as I mentioned, what used to be the Philippine Science Letters, that was uh, uh, edited by Giselle Concepcion, our former president, and Wendell Rivera, was officially adapted by PAASE as the official journal. And so we encourage you to submit your publication to this. A lot of effort is going into increasing the impact factor of this journal. So we welcome all your contributions to the SciEngJ. Okay, and so that's where I'm going to end. If you have any questions, feel free to contact any one of the officers or members and anybody.
Thank you very much, Marge, for that briefing about being a member of PAASE. I'd just like to share to you the website that we have. So it's paase.org, and you can learn more information about it. So after today, and another session for the induction of new members. So this Thursday, there's a fire chat episode about rice research. So we're inviting everyone to be there. We're also inviting for those who are in chemistry. There's a special issue in chemistry for the Science and Engineering Journal handled by Dr. Completo and myself. And I also like to share to you my personal experience about being a PAASE member. So there's event in PAASE, and I just sent a message to the TIP president asking her, Mom, can I give a talk to your institution? And a week after, I was meeting with the administration offering me to become their visiting professor. And I just say, I just want to finish my commitment this semester, but fall semester, I'll make myself available. And also, I was able to gain some connection here. And hopefully, this summer when I go there, the DOST will approve my application as Balik Scientist to work on the copper mine tailings in Marinduque. So I asked a friend of mine who's a vice president of Marinduque State College if she can host me, and she said, I want you to apply as a Balik Scientist team. Okay, so to give our closing remarks, I'd like to call on the Vice President of PAASE, okay, Gladys Charis Completo.
Thank you, Elmer. So good morning and good evening, everyone. To the new members, welcome to PAASE. It's an honor to have all of you as the newest members of our family. So I would like to also to take this opportunity to thank our guest speaker, Dr. Joey Comiso, for giving us an inspiring talk and for acting as our inducting officer. It is such a great privilege that you were able to join us. So as you've seen from the presentations, PAASE members, we have a lot of members from all over the world. So this is the best opportunity for you to broaden your network and reach out to our members and start new collaborations. And I was nominated in 2018, and it was really very inspiring. And because of one of the collaborations and partnerships of PAASE, I was one of the recipient of the DA Bar project that we are now starting here at UPLB. So we have these opportunities through PAASE and our partnership with different funding agencies. From time to time, we have a call for proposals, and as I've mentioned, I was able to receive that funding of almost 8 million pesos. So many of our members are not only scientists, we have academicians, and our members also promote science and technology by engaging our government policy makers. So how do we do that? So actually last month, we had a 5-day event on pro-science activism. And our aim is to write a white paper that we are planning to submit to the new administration. So we look forward to seeing you in all the PAASE activities. And I just want to share slide, okay. Can you see it? Is it okay? Elmer? Hello?
We don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Okay, hold on. This one. Sorry. Okay, let me share slide. Can you see it now?
No.
Hold on. I'm also having technical difficulties. Hold on. Okay. So let me just
It works so well on the dry run, but not.
I know, I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, can you see this now?
No.
Yeah? Oh my goodness. Okay. Not sure what's going on. How about now? Still not, right? Okay. I know now the problem. I have to share screen. Okay, sorry. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Elmer already showed this. This is our website, paase.org. And so if you need information about our webinars, our Fireside chat, our official PAASE journal, and all the links, if you just need any information, and if you just press this button, you will actually see all the members of PAASE according to the recs. Okay. And aside from this website, which is very user-friendly, we also have our social media. So we have our Facebook account, the Filipino Scientists. So we invite you to join this group. We have a Twitter, Instagram, and we have our own PAASE YouTube channel. And separately, you can view all the past webinars that were already presented before. So we encourage all those young members to please follow all these social media accounts. And just what Marge have mentioned, we created this research expertise clusters. And just this year, we created our REC Council. Marge and I are the co-chairs for the REC Council. We have created new RECs, actually just one REC. We combined REC 8 and 12, and it's now REC 8 on Earth and Environmental Sciences. And now we've just recently created REC 12 on Space Science. So you will be receiving emails from your co-chairs. These are the names of the co-chairs, and some of you are even just new members, and we already recruited you to be one of the co-chairs of the RECs. As mentioned by Marge, you don't have to be a member of just one research expertise cluster. You can join several RECs if it's part of your research interest and even research expertise. Feel free to email us if you have questions, and we will connect you with your REC co-chairs. Okay, and also I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our MEMCOM chair, Isa Yu, and these are the members of the membership committee. We are tasked to evaluate all the applications, and it's very heartwarming to receive a lot of applications, and we're very happy that our family is expanding. But because of the large volume of applications starting this year, we will have 2 batches for call for nominations. So now that you are members of PAASE, please, we encourage you to nominate your colleagues, especially young PhD researchers. We need young blood here in PAASE, and we strongly encourage that you also nominate your colleagues. So in UPLB, the Department of Chemistry, Institute of Chemistry, let us, Cheryl, let us nominate more members of our institute. Okay. Now, Elmer mentioned that we have a special issue on chemistry. So we extended our deadline. It will be now on May 15, 2022. So please feel free to look at the website, or you can also send us an email for the details. So this is a special issue on chemistry. And we don't pull all the submissions. Once you submit a paper, it will be automatically evaluated, and it will be published right away once it gets approved. Okay. And SciEng Journal is an ISI journal, is member of Clarivate, and you will be able to receive IPA if you publish here in SciEng Journal. And the fee is very affordable. It's less than 5,000. I think it's only 2,000 for PAASE members. So please take advantage of this opportunity of publishing your research results by under an ISI paper that only charges a very small amount of fee. Okay, and then what are our other activities? So this week, tomorrow actually, we are inviting you to attend the Fireside Chat, and this is on rice research. We have an excellent lineup of speakers, starting with Michael Peruganan from NYU, Kashana Vera Cruz from Erie, and Glenn Gregorio, the director of CIRCA, and John De Leon from Phil Rice. Please join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. This is an activity from Rec 4. And this Friday, we have an exciting event. And the speaker actually is our newly inducted member, Professor Aris Arugay. He will be giving a talk on the presidential election campaign. What are the issues, strategies, and scenarios? And this is just the start. This is for the pre-election Fireside Chat. And after the election, we will have another Fireside Chat about the presidential campaign, and whoever will win this coming election. Okay, so also, as mentioned by Marge and Mario and Elmer, please save the date. On October 11 to 14, we are celebrating our 42nd APAMS, Annual PAASE Meeting and Symposium. So with the theme, Engaging Next Generation Science and Engineering, this is your chance to present your research. And we also encourage that you ask your students to submit posters, and there is a competition, and there is and they will be given an award for the top 3 poster presenters, and we have the rapid fire portion on after the poster presentation. So we have a lot of activities, and we have very prominent members of PAASE, and it's really been inspiring and humbling for me that once you're part of this family, they welcome you with open arms and open hearts. And I've been mentored by Dr. Giselle Concepcion. I'd like to thank her for that. And so please, we encourage you to also give back. And let me end by saying that the true advocacy of PAASE is of volunteerism. So please, I challenge all our new members, please volunteer and promote science, engineering, and innovation. Let us all work together and do science and multiply our impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gladys, for that closing remarks. So before we end our program, do you have any question? That's what always Mom Giselle would always tell us, ask question.
Yes.
Mom Giselle, do you have anything to say?
Yes, Mom Giselle.
Thank you so much, Elmer and Gladys. And well, the term is speak and proclaim. Don't just ask questions, share your knowledge. And the older ones like us, we're humbled by the knowledge and, well, the wisdom of the young, of the youth. And I like to talk to people who are below 25 years old every day to keep me open-minded. I think it's a great organization. So welcome to everyone from very eminent, distinguished persons in their careers in government and the private sector, all the way to the young ones, both based in the Philippines and elsewhere in the world. And I love the volunteerism. And we say we want to be S&T patriots, right? Patriots. And I already told Gladys that, we would like to go to the regions. So in the presence of Dr. Balisacan, Dr. Leo Sebastian, and everyone else is very distinguished in our group now, how I wish we would have a program called Balik Ka sa Bayan Mo. And so the RECs are based on the disciplines, but then how about we organize ourselves into transdisciplinary teams and choose the region, the locality where we would like to work together. It could be your origin, your place of origin, but not necessarily. But I think we need transdisciplinary teams to help the localities in the various regions. And I'd like to call, Dr. Justine Sikat. Perhaps in the future, after the elections, you can give a talk on the Mandanas ruling and maybe at IRR. Yes, Justine, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I would be honored to share what we have been studying for the past 4 years at PIDS, and I myself on my own as my PhD dissertation. So thank you so much for welcoming me to this organization.
Thank you so much, everyone. Congratulations.
So any more want to comment? Where's Al? Is Al here, Sarapika?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
You want to say something?
Sure. I just want to welcome. I'm always amazed actually how our PAASE has grown every single year, and more volunteers keep coming to help indeed our ecosystem in science and technology in the country. And I'm always happy and glad that we have fresh blood coming in, not necessarily young blood, because we do have the elders joining us today. I mean, definitely starting off with Apong Joey giving us his journey, being able to say that science matters, guys. And this year, I only have one word for you guys to remember on your induction: be risky. That's to provide relevant and impactful sharing of your knowledge to the youth. And I think this is where definitely our organization is approaching a tipping point, hopefully. I've been back in the Philippines for the last 8 years, watching the ecosystem grow, not only in my field of technology transfer and technopreneurship, but also in the areas of not only the basic sciences, even space technology, which Joey really had influence, where now we have a Philippine Space Agency. But definitely, having been on the ground here, we're still trying to create a right environment for our technologies to have more impact and eventually, of course, become an essential part of nation building. So I think I challenge everyone, please find your recs, your expertise. But as Giselle has challenged us, it's no longer just multidisciplinary. It's not even interdisciplinary. It's transdisciplinary, where we involve not only our own academic communities, but also government and the non-government institutions, which I'm a part of now also, trying to push the League of Corporate Foundations to be part of our building of the ecosystem. And of course, definitely being part of the USAID Stride project in the last 8 years. I've seen a lot of growth, but we need to keep watering these seeds. in order for them to grow and eventually, hopefully, bear fruit like the mango tree. It takes about 7 years before a mango will bear fruit. So congratulations again, and I welcome you wholeheartedly. And definitely, whatever I can help you with, don't hesitate to ask me in my field and connecting you to whoever you want it to be. Again, I always tell people in PAASE, we're only 1 or 2 degrees separated from anyone in the country. And hopefully we can do that with the rest of the world. Thank you very much and congratulations.
So as a request from our president, who we apologize to be out, he's celebrating his birthday wife. That's why he had to leave. So I would like to request to turn your camera and we have a group photo that will be posted in the Filipino scientists in our Facebook page. So since we have, I think, 2 panels here, just keep on smiling because we don't know if you're in the first panel or the second one. So, okay, 1, 2, smile. Okay, so yan ako muna, pasensya na. And then the next one, okay, 1, 2, smile. Okay. So to end the program, I would like to say, to paraphrase what Sir Joey said, I'd like to thank him for gracing this event. As what Newton said, I just paraphrase what Newton said, what we may know is a drop, but if we put it together in an organization like this, it can water a society with knowledge and breakthrough as we go on to the future. So on behalf of the Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering, congratulations to everyone. Thank you very much. Okay. Good morning and good evening. I'm Elmer Moica from New York City. Signing off. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Night. Thank you, Elmer. Thank you, Marks. See you later. Are you gonna be there?
Say
See you
tayo.
again. Hopefully no more technical